Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game 1 of a best of 1. It's just a bit of fun, so this should be extremely exciting to watch. Now, it is going to be some ZVP. I'm desperate to try and get hold of some Zerg versus Terran games, so if anyone sees any pro level ZVT, do let me know, send me a tweet or something at Madals91, and hopefully I will be able to cast them, if I haven't done so already, because I've been casting a lot of ZVP, ZVZ, and TVP, but kind of neglecting a bit of ZVT, just because I haven't been able to find any. Now, anyway, this game, though, is nonetheless going to be pretty spectacular. It's got the most recent DreamHack winner spawning. Up in the top right position is the blue Zerg from Team Quantic. It is HyuN. And his opponent in this game, down in the bottom left, the teal Protoss from Western Wolves Mad Cats. It is Arthur. So, a little bit of ZVP, always fun. It looks like Arthur's going to be going for the fast expansion of some variety. Could be a Forge fast expand, could be a Nexus first. Both viable options. No, it's going to be that though, because Pylon is on the low ground. Also scouting really early on, just to make sure nothing too crazy has happened, because crazy things tend to be pretty scary. Now, here, he's just going about his normal stuff. Probably going to go for a 15 pull into a 16 hatch. May even go 14 pull. Looks like he is going to do that. Slightly safer, get the Queen a fraction earlier. Not a huge difference. It's not the sort of thing which I'm going to lose sleep over, the fact that it was 14 rather than 15 supply, and nor should you, to be honest. It's not something that should critically make you panic when if you're watching these casts to try and learn something, to try and pick up a thing. Look at the overarching strategy. It's usually the best thing to do. Aside from macro, exact timings and things aren't hugely important. They are important, but generally if you just get the rough idea that it's going to be like, well, around a 14, 15 supply spawning pull first into a hatchery straight after, when you can afford it, it's going to be pretty good. So, no panic there. Anyway, probe coming in is going to be a Forge first, so we've got to keep an eye out now for a cannon rush, because that's always going to be a concern. Probe was out pretty early, so I'm feeling that it is a possibility. Sees the hatchery there, but Probe is running away, so it looks like we're not going to be getting a cannon rush, especially with the Nexus now being placed down. This is all looking fairly safe. There it is. Additional pylons on their way. No gateways yet, no gas yet, nothing to be too excited about. 2 Zerglings are on their way, though, just to make sure. And if a cannon rush had gone down, in all honesty, it would have worked really well, because the Overlord isn't there. The Zergling's coming straight away just to make sure there isn't anything like that occurring. Also, this drone going to just come and take a super ridiculously fast third. This third base is actually going to come around about 2 minutes 45 if HyuN starts it instantly, and he does. 2 minutes 46. That is ridiculously early for a third, and actually quite a big investment getting that down so soon. It's going to mean that the Queen was delayed. As we can see, only one Queen came out there. A couple of drones would have been skipped. It's just about making sure that you get this down as quickly as possible. And against a Forge first, that's not quite as essential as if it was a Nexus first. If it was a Nexus first, I would have totally been with that, being like, yes, getting this super fast third, good idea. But with a Forge first, you can be a bit more lenient. But still, HyuN's got it down. He's not under any threat of any attack. The gateway's only just finished, for goodness sake. And that just means that, yeah, HyuN, he's going to have a good economy, pumping out those queens, pumping out those injects, getting drones up, going into macro HyuN mode. And macro HyuN is a scary HyuN. Once he gets into that kind of late game stage, he can be very terrifying. So I'm interested to see what Arthur decides to do, whether he puts on some pressure, whether he tries to deal a nice little bit of damage, or if he goes for a 2-base play, whether he just puts on a little bit of pressure in order to take this third. All things that need to be considered. HyuN, though, is going to be aware of anything that goes on because of this Zergling. Cannot emphasize quite enough how important that Zergling is. We do have the probe coming back after the proxy pylon has been placed, just making sure the third is there and this isn't some kind of 2-base play. HyuN has no idea that probe's still out on the field, by the way, because it just poked in outside of the vision of the hatchery. And yeah, that just means probe's aware. And that is an advantage for Arthur, because he can jump down now an additional proxy pylon. He's actually going for a Stargate. Ooh, so pretty early Stargate, probably going to be Phoenix in order to pick up the Overlords. Could be an Oracle, it's theoretically viable, but generally Oracle openings tend to be from a proxied Stargate. Could be a Void Ray as well, just depending on what the aims are of Arthur. If it's purely for harassment and just a bit of map control, it'll be those Phoenix. If it's for, say, a big Void Ray composition, then obviously the Void Rays will start coming out fairly quick, but too early for that to know. No +1 obviously because of the Stargate being down. HyuN taking his first 2 gas now, and about 50 on supplies, so actually that's quite a late 2 gas. Can see it as early as, say, 42, 43 supplies, so that just means that HyuN is going to need to pump that out. We'll probably see a relatively quick 3rd and 4th gas if he's going to be committing to that, but the first 100 gas, without doubt, should go to a lair. He has gone the Rotron just in case the pressure's coming, because all he's seen is that single Stalker. But the Overlord knows the +1 isn't coming down. That's actually a really important thing to be able to scout. There's no +1. Also sees nothing's coming out of that gateway yet, but with the timings of the Cybernetics core, that wouldn't be too unexpected. The Zerglings have managed to find the pylon, have picked it off. No more proxy pylon is a bit problematic for Arthur, because suddenly HyuN doesn't really have to worry about reinforcements. As long as he checks around the top here to make sure there aren't any more, he's going to be literally on cloud 9. There's the lair coming down though for HyuN. He's also got the Rotron nearly finished up. 2 additional gateways being added in. That's 3 gate plus a Robo. The Phoenix being hidden until 4 come out. Now why 4? Because for anyone who doesn't know, 4 Phoenix can lift up a Queen and kill it in 1 lift. That's really important because then you save energy. You can kill more queens, but gotta be a little bit cautious in case Spore Coolers come down as well, because if you start picking off Overlords, it can be problematic. Now this Overlord ain't gonna be too happy. Sees 1 gate, 2 gate. This is where HyuN's like, okay, how many gateways are there gonna be here? Don't see any key tech. Okay, no additional gates around at the moment. So what's going on? The Phoenix, though, just revealing themselves as the Overlord gets taken out. And this is now HyuN saying, okay, Spore Coolers instantly started. 3 on their way, just happily sitting around, making sure that he's actually getting 6 down, 2 at every base. He's like, well, if you're going Phoenix, I just need to stop that. HyuN, because we're getting all those down though, is currently only a couple of drones ahead. Not ideal, but with the 3 queens out, he can start getting a lot at a time. He's got 9 drones on the way, for example. But yeah, Spore Coolers there, queens safely next to the Spore Coolers. So if they do get lifted, the Spore Coolers will do all the hard work. Hydrogen on its way down, because if there's Phoenix, the robotics facility, which has only just got started 24 seconds in, is going to be delayed. That means Colossi going to be delayed, which means that really Roach Hydra is going to be incredibly potent in terms of composition. Now, this Overlord does die. That supply blocks him, which is incredibly frustrating, especially when there's a big wave of Zealots making its way into the 3rd. This is going to be problematic for HyuN, because he doesn't really have anything to defend this with, not to mention that supply block is still ongoing. Drones in stop command, hugging around the Queen, just trying to keep at least one of them up, but unfortunately the Zealots managed to close up that distance. The drones attacking as quickly as they can too. The Zerglings trying to take this out, but the next Queen is going to fall. So while the Zealots are going to die, and there's not been really many workers killed, 7 in total with the Phoenix as well, what Arthur has managed to do is get HyuN's Queen count down to 0. There are no queens on the field for HyuN right now. That means his injects are all missed, and his lava is going to be incredibly low. That means he's not going to be able to get out the roaches and hydralisks that he really needs. The Phoenix are still being a bit of a nuisance. We do have the Overseer coming in, sees the Voidway on its way out. I don't know if HyuN did actually see the first Voidway's already there, but nonetheless, Hydras are here. Roach Hydra good against a heavy air composition, but the robotics bay is about 2/3 done. So the first Colossus, that will be out fairly soon, and while 1 doesn't matter, once you start getting 2, 3 out, that's when HyuN's going to need to be thinking, okay, he need Corruptors. Well, he's getting a Spire down, so he can do that. Or he needs to be getting the Infestation Pit to get up to Hive and get some Vipers. Alternatively, HyuN can just try and end this game beforehand. The reason I don't think that's going to be a big possibility for him, though, is because he got that big supply block and lost the Queen, so that means he doesn't have the injects that are essential. The Queens only just coming back down now. That is a long period of time that injects haven't been occurring, but HyuN does still have a fair number of lava, and a lot of that is due to the fact that he's only pumping units. He's at 68 drones to 56 probes, but is he going to see the 3rd base? Yes, he will. So he can force a cancel here. There's pretty much no way that Arthur is going to be able to save this. Cancel it straight away. He knows it. It's a good little spot there by HyuN, keeping Arthur down on these 2 bases. But forcing a cancel on the 3rd is a lot different to being able to break the natural, and I don't think HyuN's got the required units to be able to do that yet. There's just too much of a defensive position here. The sentries there, the 4 swords would be incredibly potent, photon overcharge, etc. Plus, the first Colossus is about to pop. Second one queued up instantly after. Arthur just making sure he's safe. This pylon, once again getting scouted down. No luck for the Protoss in terms of getting those proxies. Phoenix are going to come and try and do a little bit of damage, but let's be honest, there's only so much they can do when they're about to fly straight over some Hydras. Luckily missing them. 7 now Corruptors on their way out. They're going to really help shut down these Phoenix 2s. So I wouldn't be too worried if I was HyuN right now about those. The only thing Arthur needs to worry about is the 4th's already coming down and is actually ahead of the 3rd after the first cancel. So these Phoenix are just going to confirm that that is there, get a quick little look, okay, 4th hatchery on its way down. Can't do anything about that, but what I can do is come and try and pick off a couple of drones, get more scouting information, try and find any stray Overlords. Gonna see the Corruptor though, and this is like a Phoenix's worst nightmare, suddenly seeing a Corruptor there, just gonna be like, nope. This isn't the neighborhood that I meant to go to. I'm getting out of here. I did the scouting information, now let me go and hide. That's pretty much what Phoenix think when they see Corruptors. But here, when he sees those Phoenix still running around, he thinks, maybe I can just go and kill you now. And this could be a nice little timing coming down from the Quantic player, because he's got a decent number of Corruptors out, 12 of them on the field, and there's still only those 2 Colossus. A third one will hit the field by the time the push gets here, I would imagine, but that's still not a huge number, especially with the Roaches and Hydras there. The Roach count, not that high, only 18 of those. But once the Corruptors are able to focus down the Colossus, which frankly they should be able to, there's only the, well, there are 5 Voidways, so they deal some good damage with Prismatic Alignment, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. Are these engagements going to be good enough? Are the Voidways going to be able to target a preemptive force field? Just trying to say, look, I'm going to shut down your attack arc to try and prevent you from moving and buy myself more time to get this third Colossus out. It will make a big difference, but HyuN now starting to come forward. The Voidways do need to do their job of focusing down the Corruptors as quickly as possible. The Voidways actually taking quite a bit of fire. That means that the Colossi are staying up, and that is less than ideal for HyuN right now. The force fields as well from Arthur, absolutely great, preventing too much surface area from being achieved, and Arthur easily forcing the retreat out of HyuN, being really just denied dealing any significant damage. Yes, the Voidway count fell slightly, but the 3 Colossi, they're still down. That is the big thing. That is the defining moment, that Arthur is now in a very comfortable spot, and suddenly HyuN has got to find a way through this, because those Corruptors were his only option. He's lost them all. That's a lot of gas to get those back up. Not gas that really HyuN has at the moment. He's only sitting at 400. This 4th base, the 7th and 8th gas guys are essential for HyuN at the moment. He's going to try and push up into the 3rd from the back. Would be wise to take out these rocks first, just in case some good force fields came down, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. So the rocks are going to get taken out. Now HyuN needs to be careful when he moves up, because the 4 Colossi are very potent. The Infestation Pit is on its way for HyuN, so he can go up into Vipers, but he's moving forward. He's just going to try and just ram rage straight into those Colossi, which isn't necessarily a bad thing as long as he takes them out. The Roach is hugging him to go down. If he keeps getting more, this is going to be very good for him. He needs to try and get all of them, ideally, and the Roaches plowing through the Gateway support. Lots of the money spent into the Voidways. Now, yes, the Voidways can deal with those Roaches very potent and very quickly, so they can't do much more, but killing those Colossi is essential, because suddenly HyuN doesn't have to worry about splash damage. That's why the Hydralisk can come back out onto the field. It's buying HyuN the time he needs in order to get down the Hive, to get out the Vipers ready for some good abducts next time, and all of that is going to make it very comfortable. There's the Hive, just as it should be. A couple of Infestors coming out, interestingly, before Pathogen Glances got started, so they're just coming out for the Infested Terrans to bank up some energy and get a couple of fungal quotes. It's not a big commitment though from HyuN. We see that the 2 Stargates are there producing a lot of Voidways now, and really, that's where the fungal growths come in, is if the Void Rays clump up, fungals will deal huge amounts of damage, prevent them from doing too much, prevent them from being mobile. This one Phoenix is going to die, unfortunately. HyuN is getting pretty close to maxed out. He's fairly high in supply, at 192 to 137 of Arthur, but remember, a lot of that is all tied up in units. HyuN also, well, he's at 114 army supply to just 72. That's pretty good. But HyuN, he's got a good economy as well. 78 drones and taking a 5th base. All very important. Now, HyuN is coming back up in towards the 3rd. If he can knock this out, which frankly he may be able to with the position of Arthur's army, this could be massive. The Hydralisks do, ideally though, need to start working down on these Voidways. But this many Voidways deal with even Hydras exceptionally fast. No Colossi in the field, so dealing with these Zerglings is going to be a massive nuisance. The Roaches are streaming in. The 3rd Nexus is going to fall. This is exactly what HyuN would want in this situation, and boom, down it goes. Suddenly Arthur's economy looking a lot worse than that of HyuN's. He's mining just, well, 800 minerals a minute less, and pretty much half the gas. That gives a massive advantage to HyuN, who's nearly got his 5th base up, taking his 9th and 10th gas geyser. But look at this. This is a fair number of Voidways, and I use that a fair number very conservatively. There's 12 on the field. That's a fair few. And of course the Hydralisk count is only at 38, which is pretty good. These are going to be the critical thing. These Infestors, these fungal growths, could make or break it. A good fungal growth on clumped up Voidways will allow those Hydras to dispatch them exceptionally fast. But that is the big decision. The Immortal getting focused first, so of course they can start coming, and that is the fungal growth that HyuN needed, and suddenly these Voidways are looking to be in a bit of a problem. Chain Fungals are going to be going down, their shields already out. The Hydras with a great attack arc, but the Colossus at the back still dealing some damage. 2 Hydras are going to be the hero though, and will shut that down. The Voidway count suddenly getting annihilated, and this is where HyuN gets a massive lead. He is at 150 supply to the 73 of Arthur, and after Arthur lost his 3rd base, he knows he can't come back from that, and GG's out. So congratulations to Quantic HyuN for winning that game. If you enjoyed it, make sure that you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. I get new games up daily, so I'll catch each and every one of you tomorrow for yet another new cast. I'm Madals, thanks for watching, and bye for now.